Hey everyone, here is a quick recording for application problem 3-1 in case you need a little help. Okay, it's real simple. We only have two transactions here. We're going to enter these into a general journal. And before we do that, we're just going to take a look at, we're going to click on this other tab here. The COA stands for Chart of Accounts. And click on that just so that you can see the different accounts for this company in this problem here, D&M company. You can see their assets, their revenue, the expense accounts, one liability account and account payable, and here are the equity accounts, owner's equity accounts. You have the owner's capital account and the drawing account. So if you're not sure of how to type the name of an account in the account title column over in the on the transaction side in the general journal, you can always click on this chart of accounts and double check the name of the actual title of the account if you're not sure what to type in there. Okay, so don't forget that that's always there for your reference. Okay, so the first one is March 1st, received cash from owner as an investment, $5,000, and the source document that is listed there, that's always it's always going to be at the end of each entry, is R1. R stands for receipt. All right, so I'm going to come down here and we're just going to enter the date first. And even though you're not used to abbreviating March, this is what this publisher does. So you just kind of have to enter. You'll get used to it. You kind of have to enter things the way the publisher is looking for, or else it'll just mark it, the red ink will come up and it'll tell you that you're entering it in there incorrectly. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and type in cash here first, because if we're receiving cash from the owner, the two accounts that are being mentioned here are cash and the owner. Okay, so we know that cash is one account and the other one is going to be the owner's capital account. All right, so if we're receiving cash, we know that cash is an asset and assets increase with a debit entry. So that one's going to go first. Remember, each transaction is going to have a debit and a credit. The debit part always goes first. Also, on that very first line with the debit part, you're going to enter the source document abbreviation code, okay, under this document number column. Post reference, we'll use that in the next chapter. You can't enter anything in there anyway. It doesn't allow you to. But the document number column is for the source document. Okay, so what was that? That was $5,000. So we'll debit this for we'll debit cash for $5,000. And then the second account is going to be the owner's capital account. If you can't remember, like Mrs. Austin, click on the chart of accounts, come down here. There's the capital account. I'm going to, on my computer, if I triple click, it'll highlight the whole title there. So, and I'm going to just copy and go back over to the journal and paste, because that just saves you a little bit of time of typing, okay? And then that's going to be credited, okay? So just to review, each transaction is going to fill out two lines. Okay, you're going to have a debit first, the credit is second. On the same line as the debit part, you're going to include the source document under the document number column. Okay. Now, once you have the month in there for at the top of the journal, you don't have to continue to put the month underneath for each subsequent transaction. Okay. So the second one is March 4th, and it's paid cash for supplies. The two accounts that are mentioned there are cash and supplies. So you just need to figure out which one's increasing and which one's decreasing, okay? In this case, they're both assets, so that means one has to increase and one has to decrease, okay? So if you're paying out cash, you should know that cash is going to decrease. So supplies will be the one that's debited. So we're going to put March 4th in here, and supplies is going to be the debit part and cash is going to be the credit part, okay? And C1 is the source document. C stands for check. So C1 goes in source document, and it's $1,500, debit to supplies, credit to cash. And that's it, okay? If you just take a look at that again, each transaction requires a debit and a credit. The debit always goes first, credit goes second. The source document is listed on the same line as the debit entry. The month, when you're working in a general journal, the month only goes at the very top for the first transaction. Okay, if you fill out an entire page of the general journal and then you start a second page, you can put the month again at the very top, but you don't have to repeat it for each subsequent transaction. All right, I'm going to stop and move on to the next one.